Well, hello there, everybody. Yesterday, I saw the new Takashi Miike film, Hara-Kiri, Death of a Samurai. And I enjoyed it. I think I will give it an 8. It's advertised as a companion piece to for us in America, last year's 13 Assassins. I believe in Japan it came out maybe even as much as a few years ago. But we just got it in 2011, the first half of 2011. And now, in the first half of 2012, we get Hara-Kiri, Death of a Samurai. It's about, I guess you would say, feudal Japan in the early 1600s. It's about a lot in the fact that it's about a lot of human emotion. Not much happens. It's not too epic, but a lot happens internally. It's about a house, a house of samurai, the House of Lee. They are getting visitors from masterless samurai. I suppose that would be Ronin. They are getting visits from penniless Ronin, who wish to commit Hara-Kiri, which is ritual suicide, in their courtyard, just so that they can hold on to some type of honor as they die. But it turns out that this is a common ploy used by Ronin to get either money or employment. So it is seen as an even more disgrace upon the samurai, the warrior code. So this House of Lee sets out to, make an example of these suicide bluffers, as they are called. The story is told, I got ahead of myself. The film is told as a story. You meet a lot of people. They tell a lot of stories. You get a lot of names. That was why I thought 13 Assassins was so overwhelming the first time I saw it, is that you meet a lot of people and you're overwhelmed by all the names and the faces, which are mostly unfamiliar. Here, it hop-skips back and forth in time. As always with Asian cinema, you must utilize your brain. You must be actively thinking and paying attention, which is fine. I enjoy that. I'm up for the challenge. So you've got these visitors coming to the House of Lee, and it starts out with the leader of the house telling a story. Then it switches to the visitor telling a story. You're getting all of this in reflection. It's very interesting because the first story we listened to basically tells the fate, basically tells the ending of the second story we're told, which, as we're watching the second story, we know how it ends. We know that it's tragic and heartbreaking, so it makes watching the whole second act of the film pretty uncomfortable and pretty sad. If 13 Assassins was epic and thrilling, Hara-Kiri is intimate and heartbreaking. It's not concerned with the history. Pretty sure that 13 Assassins was a dramatization of an actual event. I'm sure that the things that happen here in this film, Hara-Kiri, did happen, but I doubt this is a historical story. Perhaps it is. But if it is, wow, it's super sad. But, most of the film takes place in like 2 locations, pretty much. I mean, 3 if you're stretching it. So it's a very confined film. All of the acting is great. At times, it switches, it goes into melodrama. It gets very melodramatic. But I don't really see how, when you're telling an intense, heartbreaking story like this, how it can't get melodramatic. I'd say if these events were happening in my life, I would be more than melodramatic. So I didn't really mind so much, but everyone has to feel, all of the actors are called upon to go to very, very dark places that you would never want to imagine going. And yet it seems like the entire cast is filled with these actors who have to give it their all, and they do. And it makes for an intense experience. All the acting is really good. Again, when it gets melodramatic, I mean, perhaps it slips into overacting, a little bit, but it's forgivable. It's definitely forgivable. And it doesn't happen that much, and it's not, really even distracting. It just has, like, flashes. But when they happen, it's also when the story is at its most unbelievably tragic. So it's kind of like, well, where else are you going to go but screaming incomprehensibly? The film was shot and filmed in 3D. I thought this was interesting. I didn't realize it was the first, a 3D film. It's Takashi Miike's first 3D film, and I was happy to see that. Really, the 3D is relatively inconsequential. He doesn't say, "Oh, I'm making a 3D film, and so let's go crazy and do all this stuff that is going to flip people out." No, this is really a quiet drama, and intimate locations. So the 3D is, well, I just have a feeling he wanted to make a 3D movie and wanted to use the technology. Really, I think it only adds to the battle scenes, which there are. There are awesome battle scenes. And so I think that 3D does a really good job at, taking you there, putting you there more. There's an amazing fight in the snow, and the snow is coming down everywhere, and that looked awesome. But really, even though I appreciate 3D, it's okay. Really, it's just 3D to tell a dramatic story. So it's like, well, okay, I get it. It's just like, I don't totally understand why it was 3D, with the exception of a master filmmaker wanting to make a 3D movie, and so we did. But the 3D looked good. Again, it wasn't distracting at all. I mean, if anything, it accomplished what 3D should, which is, putting you in this world, to a greater effect, and I think it does. The cinematography is fantastic. The set design is great. Again, this is a big budget picture, and it looks that way. The special effects are really good. Again, you were transported to Japan in the early 1600s. You never really doubt that. It's technically on par with 13 Assassins. You know, I just thought 13 Assassins was more, well, I guess more fun. You know, I've seen 13 Assassins like 3 times. I own it. I don't think I will watch this film again, and it's not because I don't have a desire, well, that I can't appreciate it. I have the desire to watch it again. It was good, but you know, it's like Schindler's List. Why? Yeah, you have a great emotionally powerful response, but why? You know, why would you sit at home and ask to be thoroughly depressed? Which is mostly what this film did to me. I mean, there is a point to it. There is a tremendous message that is received, I think. And it's all about honor, and I really get that. Living your life by a code, dying by that code, all while being human. It's balancing the warrior aspect with humanity. And I think that message just really comes across by the end of the film. I mean, message received. And message received while feeling that nothing has changed. You know, the world is too big, too old to go and change now. So you're, again, kind of left with this hopelessness. So, you know, it's not exactly fun. You know, it's not exactly fun. But it is skillfully made, and gorgeous, and tremendously acted. Very well written. The only actor I could tell you, and I really can't even tell you his name, is the main character from 13 Assassins. There's a lot of people. There's 13 Assassins and 13 Assassins, and even more people than that. But the main guy in 13 Assassins is, again, I wouldn't call him the main character, but he's a highly featured character here. He is the leader of the House of Lee, and I don't know his name. He's good here. He kind of plays, well, a bureaucratic douchebag, in a way, and definitely different from the character he portrayed in 13 Assassins. So I guess it goes, you know, in with that companion piece to 13 Assassins. As the stamp of Takeshi Miike goes on, there's definitely like a slight moment of torture porn, which, to my limited knowledge in that genre, I credit him as fathering it. I think everyone else who makes a torture porn film is, in essence, imitating Takeshi Miike. And there is a moment of that here. There's another calling card for Miike is something absolutely disgusting. I really feel that there's nothing disgusting. You know, there always should be a point in a Takeshi Miike film where you really can't watch the screen. You know, that you should be so upset and disturbed that you just don't want to watch. There's never a moment of that here. I would call in 13 Assassins the limbless and tongueless woman from that film. I mean, I had trouble watching that scene. There's nothing really like that here. I mean, there's definitely some disturbing things. Mostly it just comes with the tragedy of the story. I mean, it's just ultimately tragic. So that is unsettling on a very deep level. But I can't go so far as to call it like, wow, I cannot look at the screen right now because that is fucked up. That never really happens. So this is, again, more of a even more of a straightforward drama than 13 Assassins was. I think it's a big change for Miike. So he's getting old. He's getting old, so I think he's maybe in a way calming down. He's made a ton of films. I want to say he's made over 50 short films. So, again, he knows his way around a camera. I think he's just looking to expand his repertoire and wanting to tell different kinds of stories, which you can't get mad at an artist for doing that. So I think I've hit on all the points. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was incredibly well made and a very moving experience, but it was very, very depressing. And if you like samurai films, there's enough samurai action going on here, martial arts action to keep you interested, but it it's, again, heartbreaking. So be prepared for that. Be prepared for that. It's very thoroughly depressing. Thoroughly depressing. And kind of, in a way, hopeless. And, why did they have to die? Why did all this innocence have to be destroyed so that corruption can live on? And I suppose that is life itself. So what are you going to do? I think I pretty much said all I have to say. So that's Hara-Kiri, Death of a Samurai, and I'm giving it a solid 8. Thank you very much.